articles, and I finally come up with 4 countries whose predominantly Buddhist countries that was very similar to Laos, including Thailand, Singapore, Hong Kong, China, and Taiwan. I have noticed that many of us are using Korn's experiential learning model, so I try to use this model as well, which is experiencing, reflection, conceptualization, and planning. And I'm going to show you the detail of this. For the first step, experiencing, I try immersing myself to task to start to do the literature review. Honestly, writing a literature review is quite challenging for me. I have no idea on it. It is a very new skill. I have to learn at the beginning. I have to learn how to write literature review from the books online, and also I need advice and help from the facilitator as well. And one more experiencing in here that I want to mention, which is I need to learn how to create ROL outcomes. For the second step, I'm going to talk about reflective observation. I keep asking myself what literature review I should write that contribute to the final literature for master thesis, and source of literature on New Zealand student counseling services are available, and feedbacks from facilitators. Is that clear for me or supportive? Are there any Western literature to be support for my writing? And the third step would be conceptualization. Could I alter the process to improve the outcome? I mean, can I use another keyword or database? What things could be changed? What things could be added or deleted? Will other combinations work? And the final would be planning or actual doing. When I start doing, I try to doing different ways, try different keywords, access different databases, schemes, the abstract of journals, and in combination with meeting facilitator to get feedbacks and advice, and make changes if needed. And this slide I'm going to talk about the remaining steps that lead me to the final outcome of Hub C, which include to find more relevant articles, then read them carefully. And the second would be to learn how to write literature review, to meet teachers for advice, for feedback before I start writing, and start writing literature review on student counseling services in Buddhist countries. And I'm going to use the reflective cycles to keep continuing and to complete the remaining step. The first, to refine more relevant articles, I'm going to go through the library and do some research and observe the relevant articles, reliable source. I think I am now become more aware of sources, not only the article, but also to be aware of the reliable sources. For example, counseling, we normally use Springer or Rowledge. The third step, I ask myself what keywords can be changed to find more sources, and decide to select articles with new results. the rest of the remaining steps, I'm also using the reflective cycles to complete this. The first is I'm gonna learn to write literature review from teachers, book, online, peers. Second step would be I consider important steps, supporting points, and learn about the concept. The third step would be what strategies that can help me to enhance my writing. And the final step would be actual doing. When I start writing a literature review, I'm gonna keep contact with the facilitator and come up with the possibilities to improve the literature review and decide to attempt that again. Now the nearly slide, I'm going to talk about reflective evaluation. During this course, HAPC, I have learned a lot of skills from the presentation one until now. I realized that I gained a better understanding of the purpose of this course, which is develop the ability to review professionals' practice and also help me to recognize a range of reflective approaches. For example, Dewey, Coates, and etc. This course also enabled me to generate the realistic outcome, which is more clear and more specific and relevant to my final master thesis. And the final one would be the professional self and practice. During the journey of designing the presentation tool, I also learned a lot of things from this in terms of professional self and practice. I realized that reflective practice is particularly needed to improve professional practice. And also, I gain more knowledge and fulfill my gaps and enhance my skills. I also learned that compared to the presentation one, I was very in a liminal space, nothing, not clear, everything is very confusing. But compared to the day when I first came to the review of learning, I stay more focused on the specific goal that I want to achieve, which is writing a literature review on counseling services in Buddhist countries. And after this course, I also feel that I feel much more confident, and also I can enhance my perseverance to keep going throughout the journey of my master thesis in here. And during the future, I learn from John Dewey as well. We don't learn from practice, but we learn from reflecting on practice. That's all for my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions?
So you are following the Coates model of reflection.
Coates model.
Do you find a particular difference between the John Dewey and Coates model of reflection? What I think is that in John Dewey model of reflection, we give more importance to self, the feelings, emotions, the observations. A lot of self is reflected more. Do you agree with that?
Do you mean Cobb or Dewey does more of that?
Dewey model, John Dewey's model, reflection, observations, suggestions. I feel that more of self is reflecting more. So, do you agree with the Cobb's model, or it's any similarity or dissimilarity you find in that?
Hmm. To be honest, I think they're quite similar. Or they also observe from what they have done in the past and at the present and in the future, and what can be done to improve what to improve your practice. I found that it's quite similar.
Because all the works they actually come from John Dewey.
John Dewey,
yeah, he's the
John
foundation.
Dewey
So
we can say that he is the emperor, right?
pioneer.
A pioneer, yeah. Sorry, in pioneer, and he is my reference list.
Yep. Any other questions for Korn?
Thank you.
So Korn,
Finally.
have you found any useful approaches to how you're going to write the article yet? Have you had a chance to do that at all?
You mean the recycle, cope recycle to help me to write an article?
On a more practical level, like how to go about writing academically and how to go about structuring an article and that kind of basic things like that.
Actually, I'm not really much confident on that because writing literature review is my first time.
That's right.
So I think I'm gonna read some books.
Yep.
Because I have borrowed 4 books, research questions, and for each book they include literature review writing.
Yep.
So I'm gonna read through it again.
Okay.
And
Good.
maybe if I'm struggling with any ideas in that, I'm gonna ask you. So.
Because of course this group is also doing the same thing. They're having to learn from the beginning how to write a review article. So you can all work together on this front. The nitty-gritty nuts and bolts of how to do that is something that you can learn together. Yeah? Okay.